The streaming wars, they have begun. The Walt Disney Company is doing everything they can to crawl their way back into relevancy, as Disney Plus has been a disaster. Sue YouTube? You bet. Steal a show from Netflix? Just watch them. Now the House of Mouse is declaring it's on, and they're ready to do whatever it takes to get you back on a Disney streaming service. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back and happy Memorial Day. We are so glad you've come our way. Thank you yet again, for you are the gigawatts that power everything here. Jonas J. Campbell is with us. Jonas, how's the picnic? How's the barbecue?
Oh, it's doing fantastic. Some guy tried to take the blanket and put it to wear it kind of like a turban. It was strange. It's the last time I'm going to come over here to watch a new theme park being built.
Ha ha! I get your joke. I get it. You know what else is a joke, though, Jonas? This is real. But Jonas, the joke is that anybody is still trying to pretend that YouTube has not absolutely won the day. YouTube is by far and away the biggest streaming service out there. Folks, this is the Nielsen gauge. It's breaking down streaming into percentages. You'll notice that Disney has all of their stuff combined. That's why they've got a little star beside it. That's not a wishing star. That means that it's Disney, Hulu, and ESPN, plus anything else Disney has that we just can't think of right now. Meanwhile, Netflix, it's just by itself. And Netflix is still beating Disney with all of its services combined. Netflix all by itself is beating it. And then YouTube. And you'll notice that YouTube has this teeny weeny, itsy bitsy little word next to it that says main. Now that just means that it is only the YouTube app opened on a TV, nothing else, and still constrained in such a way YouTube is more than twice the size of every single Disney service there is. In other words, if you take only a small portion of what YouTube is and have it compete against everything Disney has, it more than doubles the watch time, the percentage of use on TVs. That's fantastic, and that is why Disney is preparing to wage war on both Netflix and YouTube. We'll start with Netflix. Jonas, this is out of Deadline. It's by Nelly Andreeva. Cocomelon, animated series moving from Netflix to Disney Plus. And this is more interesting, folks. Don't unclick the video just because we put this up here. I know some of you are like, no, I can't handle anymore, JJ. My small cousin or nephew or son or daughter, grandbaby is watching this all the time. Folks, hang with us. We promise we will not bring trauma. Jonas, walk us through what's going on here, where Candlelight Media is what owns this thing. And suddenly Cocomelon, which is a YouTube channel that had a Netflix show, is being bought by Disney.
Yeah, that's right. Candle Media, and I know sometimes you come up with funny names for businesses here. Candle Media is owned by, co-CEOs Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer, both formerly of Disney. Candle Media owns Moonbug Entertainment, which makes Cocomelon, and Cocomelon is YouTube quality animation. It is children's songs sung as you do pan and zooms over animated, oversized headed children. It is not really anything that is creatively pushing the boundaries. You have to, if you're one of those Stockholm Syndrome adults who have watched it, you could start to read in your own storylines here about how that obviously looks like Hal from Malcolm in the Middle, and the mom kind of looks like that. So you can read some Breaking Bad into it. Sorry, I won't get too deep into the badness here, but this is a show that is the lowest common denominator of children's content. It is YouTube cruft that has been elevated because you can put it anywhere and children will stare and watch it forever up to a certain age.
This is one of the biggest YouTube channels out there, though, right?
Yes, it absolutely is. It probably is a large percentage of YouTube viewing is specifically for Cocomelon. Little Baby Bum probably does well over there. I think Hulu has the streaming rights to that one, but that's another YouTube channel that is just it's babysitter content in the worst kind of way. It's generally speaking not bad, except when Netflix commissioned their own version of it called Cocomelon Lane. Then it went woke.
Okay, so that's the difference. So on Netflix, it went woke, and then the viewership tanked, right? It went down 60%. Now, the guys and gals who made Cocomelon Lane, you say they're former Disney people. In fact, at one point, both of them were considered to be future CEOs. I'm not sure they're former because they're still working with Disney now, I guess, in sort of a consultation role. But Cocomelon, this is what's crazy. It will continue to be on YouTube. So it will continue to be one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. But Disney gets the woke version of it. But here's what I'm wondering, Jonas. I just wonder, do you think Disney will get this and then say, we don't want all of those episodes? We want new stuff and make new non-woke Cocomelon, which is counter to everything Disney was just 5 minutes ago. But even they can see a 60% drop and say, hey, we'd like to do Bluey stuff instead. Do they try that and then get Cocomelon and Bluey bringing back the preschoolers since they essentially destroyed that demographic for themselves?
Well, that's the thing that Disney does right now. They want headline chasing. So if they think that Wall Street will be impressed with it, they will go ahead and do that. Just like they tried to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and say that Bluey was coming to Disney theme parks. Well, in the announcement, we saw right through that. If you were watching That Park Place, what's happening is Bluey is coming to Disney cruise lines that are sailing out of Australia and New Zealand. That's finally being clarified today by the Disney company years later. Here. So pay attention to That Park Place in WDW Pro if you want to hear the actual truth behind the headlines that Disney wants to throw
I guess you could say, Jonas, that Disney, with that announcement, they were being very cheeky.
It's the kind of news that you might read on the wall of the dunny. There's a little bit more of the children's television influence entering into the lexicon here in the United States. The thing with Cocomelon is, if Disney is the first name in children's entertainment, why are they buying the most low quality show that they can? Forgive me. I know there are probably people who work very hard on Cocomelon, but you know what it is. There's a certain point at which the quality reaches acceptable, and then you just move on in making these episodes here.
Well, now, hang on, Jonas. I want to throw a curveball at you. I know you're midstream. Let me divert you on purpose. Disney tried. Disney put out Young Jedi Adventures. They had, listen, Star Wars was supposed to excite the kiddos and diapies. They put out the little kid Spider-Man thing. That was supposed to have the ones with pull-ups pulling themselves up to the TV and saying, Mommy, Mommy, buy me the Spider-Man toy. Instead, in order to try to fight back against YouTube and Netflix, Disney is buying Bluey and Cocomelon, but only the distribution rights. Disney doesn't own Bluey. Disney doesn't get to put Bluey in their theme parks. Disney doesn't get to make all the merch profits off of Bluey. Same thing with Cocomelon. This is like Disney buying Marvel and Star Wars. This is the same kind of level of purchasing. People just don't realize it, but they don't get any of the retail perks.
I totally agree. This is, they want people to think it's successful, just like, you know, making a Doctor Strange movie for whatever the ridiculous amount that budget is, and then trying to say it's one of the biggest movies in the world when it doesn't make a profit. And I don't think Doctor Strange is moving the merch.
Now, I just want to add here that, yes, Disney has taken this from Netflix. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Netflix picking up Sesame Street was likely to prepare for this. Okay, so Cocomelon's out, Sesame Street is in at Netflix.
And also Peppa Pig is going to be on Netflix as well. So, and Cocomelon has struggled against Bluey. So this is Disney. Disney at this point, all they have is content acquisition, because they definitely aren't doing that well on content creation for children. So, you know, Inside Out 2, lesser, not as good as the original, and a pale ghost next to the original. Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake. The less said about the quality of the film, the better. It only reminds you how great the original was. Don't worry, they've parted ways with the guy who made the original. We won't have anything that good coming out for a long time. Don't worry about that. This company has no actual creativity. They're just producers at this point, trying to hire people to please fool the audience into showing up. Maybe we can mesmerize your children for a little while so we can get those Disney Plus watch hours up.
Jonas, I'm going to steal more lexicon from preschooler shows and take the voice of Daddy Pig and say, you're quite an expert in this.
Unfortunately.
He's also a bit of an expert on this one. Disney versus YouTube. If you thought it was just Netflix in the streaming wars, think again. Disney is fighting mad at YouTube. They're just pickpocketing Netflix. right? They're just taking the discount Cocomelon off the shelf. When it comes to YouTube, they're mad, they're angry, they're furious, and lest you not know what this is about, look at it again. YouTube, if you take them down to just what plays on your TV and nothing else, 12.4%. Disney with everything they've got at 5%. They're angry because YouTube came and stole an executive.
Let's add a little bit of clarity here, because if you go back to that chart,
I'm on the chart again. All right, give us your specificity, Daddy Pig.
This is YouTube. YouTube Main represents YouTube on your TV, which is not to be confused with the app and streaming service YouTube TV, which is included in the cable and broadcast section. So
right. And
the actual service that costs, you know, $80-$90 a month, that is over in the broadcast and cable area and not included in that 12.4%. YouTube TV is what we're going to be talking about with the Disney versus YouTube.
Right. We're not talking about youtube.com if you're surfing on your browser. I mean, we could go through the list, but everything Disney has gets counted. It still doesn't count anywhere close. All right, this is out of the Los Angeles Times. It's by Wendy Lee. It says in the last several years, YouTube has become an increasingly formidable competitor to streaming services and entertainment studios, providing videos from amateur and professional creators, as well as live streaming major events and NFL games. Now its growing threat to studios is playing out in the courts. The Google-owned platform recently poached, we say, not an egg, but a Connolly, Justin Connolly, president of platform distribution from Walt Disney Company. On Wednesday, Disney sued YouTube and Connolly for breach of contract, alleging that Connolly violated an employee agreement that did not expire until March 2027 at the earliest. Now, why this matters, Jonas, is we believe that this guy is the architect of ESPN, the app that has not even released yet. Disney needs that to do well in order to take on YouTube. This guy left. He knows all the secrets at the House of Mouse. He may not be able to transmit them directly, but he brings all the knowledge of what happened, and he is now working for YouTube. And people are suspecting, speculating that this is a play by YouTube to dominate the sports streaming, which they have been a little bit behind on. If they can knock off ESPN, Disney is in dire straits going into the streaming era of entertainment. What say you?
So Connolly right here is the guy who, for ESPN, would negotiate the carriage deals with cable providers, of which YouTube TV is one of the largest. So YouTube TV has now hired one of their biggest enemies, I should say, to come work for them, to be on the other side of the negotiating table, working now against ESPN's interests in this. I don't know exactly what the case is going to be here, but I actually do think that YouTube TV might have a pretty good case, and they, depending on trade secrets, proprietary information, non-competes and things like that. And I know non-competes are thought of differently than they used to, say, 10, 15 years ago. They're going to have a guy who knows all of their secrets now negotiating against them over at Disney. I think that this is one where Disney might actually have a case, or they might be able to get an injunction to where this man is not allowed to argue specifically on the other side of the table against Disney. This one is fascinating to me, because ESPN has been the sticking point, because they own so many different games. The NCAA contract comes to mind specifically, which is what the ESPN app is built on. Those NCAA streaming rights spanning 10 channels or one app. That is what ESPN has that no one else has right now, is college sports. And if they know the exact pricing structure as the distributor, as the guy in charge of the distribution negotiations would be, that's going to be a big competitive advantage for YouTube TV over Disney in the next negotiation of carriage rights, which is that's pretty bad for Disney.
And if you're YouTube and you've got Google money behind you, I mean, YouTube, folks, it's so much bigger than all of Disney put together at this point. I mean, it is. It's just unbelievably big. YouTube, I think, now this is me I'm going to throw this out there. They can spend this money to fight this legal battle and pull this chess piece off the board, and Disney no longer has it. And that's one of the big plays here. It's fascinating. The streaming wars are here. Disney is clawing, fighting, scratching, biting, doing whatever it takes to get back into relevancy, because what people don't understand is while Disney may be still the biggest, baddest mouse in the box office, when it comes to streaming, which is where everything is, streaming and video games, that is everything now, not theatricals. We're talking about streaming and video games. All of entertainment is going there. It dwarfs everything else, and video games sort of dwarfs this. But Disney is not even close to the biggest player. They are so far behind. They're doing everything they can to catch up. This is the legal battle, or the legal battles and the financial moves you need to know about, folks, if you want to know what's really going on in entertainment. And because you clicked on this video, because you joined us, now you know. Jonas, final thoughts on this one?
I think that right now, Disney, the only thing that they have is content acquisition. They are a business company. They're no longer a creative company. Their chief audience is Wall Street. And I wish that I could say, I'm going to go see this Disney movie because it's going to be the best movie that it can be. Mostly what it is they own the rights to all of the things that you used to love. So you better pay attention because you never know what they might do to it.
All right, folks, that's where we're going to leave it today. Jonas, thank you for your expertise, sir. And looking forward to having you on both That Park Place this week, as well as the Pro Show. Tell us, Jonas, what are you up to? Where are you going to be? What are you doing?
I'm going to be everywhere, all at once, everything, everywhere, all at once. I'm a regular Michelle Yao
He thinks he's a clone now.
Is that what that movie was about? I never actually watched it. It's been sitting there.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely. That Park Place Morning Magic tomorrow at 11 a.m. and the Pro Show immediately after it at noon. I'm going to be there. Also, the Monday Hangover is, depending on when this airs, Monday nights at 6 p.m. over on the Drunk 3PO channel. We'll be talking about the Patriot, and we will be celebrating those who have given their lives to support the cause of freedom here in these wonderful United States.
Who picked that movie?
Maybe the audience did, or maybe I just willed it into existence.
That's a great pick. What a great pick.
Yeah, I still don't understand the time jump. As a sequel to Braveheart, I don't understand how he ended up in America, but and why his name's different. But it's a great movie, an excellent 3-hour epic.
Controversial take. I like The Patriot better than Braveheart.
Oh, me too. But Braveheart's still a great movie.
Just putting it out there. All right, folks, it is Memorial Day, so get out there and spend some time. Take 5 minutes away from everybody else. Step away from the bratwurst. It'll be okay. It'll still be there. And think about those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. It really is important, and we owe so much to those who have done so much for us. All right, as we get ready to say goodbye, we just want to remind you that this June is the Summer of Rock. We're changing the name of Vacation Radio because it is metamorphosizing, if broken English, into something even bigger and better. But Vacation Radio, the stream, continues on. Rock Radio, folks, we'll be sending it to you on June 7th. Don't miss out. Ladies and gentlemen, click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.